NASA's two famous rovers have sent back some shocking images from Mars, and it took a whole lot of effort to decode them. These discoveries, made in 2023 and 2024, have confirmed that there were signs of breathing organisms on the red planet at some point. But here the question arises: how could life have thrived in Mars' harsh environment? If there was life, where did it all go, leaving not even a fossil behind? And if these elements have been on Mars for billions of years, why haven't the nearly 50 missions we've sent before uncovered them? It's a long-standing mystery, and we're about to dive into the why, when, and what of it all in this video. Well, I know you've always thought Earth was the ultimate VIP spot in the universe, the only place where life could possibly exist, right? And the other planets are just cosmic ornaments, including Mars. But what if I told you that NASA's Mars rover, Perseverance, just sent back some mind-blowing footage that might burst that bubble? What if Mars had its own claim to life, just like the one you're so proud of here on Earth? Yeah, I'm talking about videos that could hint at an ancient civilization that might have once called Mars home. Sounds crazy, I know. But you better start wrapping your head around it, because this isn't just some sci-fi fantasy. One of Mars's ancient river deltas might hold the key to the biggest mystery of our time: life beyond Earth. The Jezero crater has got scientists and space geeks on the edge of their seats, thanks to the relentless work of NASA's Perseverance and Curiosity rovers. But I know what you're thinking. Wasn't the Jezero crater always just a dry, dusty wasteland? Well, surprise. Billions of years ago, it was actually filled with water, lots of it. Not just a little puddle, but a full-on river system that flowed long enough to maybe, just maybe, support life. This river delta is like a time capsule, holding clues to what Mars was like way back when. Therefore, the discovery of this delta has rocked the scientific world, suggesting that Mars might have been a lot more like Earth than we ever imagined. But now you're probably wondering, how do we even know this when today's images of Mars make it look drier than a desert? Well, NASA's rovers have been busy snapping some seriously stunning shots of this ancient river delta. And guess what? These sedimentary rock layers they found are something only water would have created. They're not just random piles of dirt. They're more like pages in an ancient book, each one telling the story of water flows, sediment buildup, and who knows, maybe even life. Now, why should you care about a bunch of old rocks on another planet? Here's the thing. These layers look suspiciously like the ones we find in river deltas on Earth, which are prime real estate for life. On our planet, river deltas are where water, nutrients, and minerals mix to create the perfect environment for life to thrive. So if Mars had something similar going on billions of years ago, the Jezero crater could have been a hotspot for ancient Martian life. And this isn't just some wild guess. It's backed by hard evidence from those hardworking rovers. But do you think getting to this site was exactly a walk in the park? Absolutely not, though. Perseverance had to make several attempts to reach this critical area, and Curiosity finally hit the jackpot at Geddes Vallis Ridge on August 14th, 2023. This ridge is believed to be one of the last places on Mars where water flowed, around 3 billion years ago. The journey to this spot is proof of the rover's relentless determination and the huge importance of what they're uncovering. Perseverance isn't just wandering aimlessly either. It's been climbing a massive 5-kilometer tall mountain, exploring the Geddes Vallis Channel, and collecting samples that could be the key to figuring out if Mars ever hosted life. Therefore, these aren't just any old rocks. They could be holding the secrets to Mars's ancient environment and the possibility that life once existed on this far-off world. The tech behind these discoveries is just as mind-blowing. The color bands in the rover's panoramic shots have been tweaked to enhance visual contrast, revealing subtle differences in the rock layers that might otherwise go unnoticed. Why go to all this trouble? Because these enhancements help scientists analyze the data more effectively, getting us closer to answering the big question: did Mars once have life? So you might be wondering, why are we pouring so much money, time, and resources into chasing after something that might not even be there anymore. Are we really just hunting for a few drops of ancient water? Not even close. What we're really after is the answer to one of humanity's biggest questions. Are we alone in the universe? And water, my friend, is the most crucial clue in that search. But this river delta we're all hyped about is just the beginning. NASA's Rover has its sights set on an even more intriguing crater that could blow this discovery out of the water. So, the next big shocker from Mars is coming from none other than Belva Crater. Now you might be thinking, what's so special about a big hole in the ground? Well, Belva Crater is a place that's practically begging to spill its secrets. The walls, the outcrops, the rim, they're all part of a story that's been billions of years in the making. And trust me, it's a page-turner. First off, let's talk size. Belva Crater is no tiny speck. It's a monster, stretching about 0.6 miles across. That's like walking from one end of a massive sports stadium to the other, and you'd still have a ways to go. But it's not just the size that grabs your attention. It's what's hidden within those massive walls. When Perseverance took a peek inside this beast on April 22nd, 2023, the motto wasn't to snap a pretty picture. Therefore, what it found was evidence of a colossal impact event, one that might have peeled back layers of Mars's history, like an ancient scroll, giving us a glimpse into the forces that have been at play on this planet for a very long period of time. Now, here's where it gets really wild. As Perseverance rolled up to check things out, it came face to face with a towering wall, 65 feet tall and just 65 feet away. Hey, don't start imagining the wall in your home. It was like a Martian skyscraper, standing about 35,000 feet above where the rover was sitting. Moreover, as Perseverance poked around, it stumbled upon some rocky outcrops scattered across the crater's interior. They might be the remains of ancient lakes or rivers, places where water once flowed, and who knows, maybe where life once thrived. These outcrops could be the key to unlocking Mars's watery past, giving scientists clues about when and where liquid water might have shaped the planet's surface. But let's not forget about the crater's rim, which is just as impressive as the rest of the place. Rising dramatically above the flat plains around it, this rim isn't just a random bump in the landscape. What's really mind-blowing is that this rim stands about 35,000 feet above Perseverance's current position. Therefore, it's not just a geographical feature. It's a testament to the sheer force of the impact that created Belva in the first place, as well as the geological processes that have been shaping the region ever since. In one especially stunning shot, Perseverance captured the crater's interior with such clarity that you can almost feel the Martian dust under your feet. And let's talk erosion. Because even on a planet as dry as Mars, it's a big deal. But why should we care about erosion in a place where water is practically non-existent? Well, the signs of erosion inside Belva Crater suggest that water once played a crucial role in shaping this landscape. Not only this, we have also found wind erosion at Mars that can create features such as dunes, ripples, and eroded rock formations. And you might have read in your science books that erosion can help distribute nutrients across a planet's surface. On Earth, erosion by water and wind transports minerals and organic matter, enriching soils and creating environments where life can thrive. Similar processes on other planets could create habitable conditions. So, we've already covered how water is a big deal when it comes to the possibility of life on Mars. But let's not just stop there, because there's way more to dig into. Mars has always been known as this dusty, rocky planet with brutal conditions. Definitely not the kind of place where you'd expect to find life. Breathing in that harsh Martian air? Yeah, not exactly a walk in the park. But NASA's Rover is painting a totally different picture. First off, you should know Mars' atmosphere is nothing like the comfortable, breathable air we have here on Earth. In fact, the Martian atmosphere is shockingly thin, just about 1% the density of ours. Therefore, this barely there atmosphere offers almost no protection or warmth. It's mostly carbon dioxide, about 95.3%, with just a tiny sprinkle of oxygen, nitrogen, and argon. That mix is pretty much a death sentence for life as we know it. But let's not sugarcoat it. Mars isn't just cold, it's freezing. The temperature swings on Mars are downright brutal. Therefore, you could be basking in a comfy 20 degrees Celsius, 68 degrees Fahrenheit near the equator during the day, only to be hit with a bone-cracking negative 73 degrees Celsius, negative 99 degrees Fahrenheit at night. Kind of temperature shock would knock out most Earth organisms in a heartbeat. But think about it. Oxygen feels comfortable to us because we're used to it, right? So why couldn't Mars have organisms that are adapted to its wild conditions? Therefore, some scientists think that if microbial life exists on Mars, it might be similar to Earth's extremophiles, those tough-as-nails organisms that thrive in places like Antarctica or deep underground. And then there's the Martian atmosphere's complete failure to protect anything from cosmic radiation. NASA's Rover found that, unlike Earth, Mars doesn't have a global magnetic field to keep the worst of the radiation at bay. The planet's surface is constantly bombarded by intense cosmic and solar radiation, levels that would be lethal to most life forms we know of. Without that magnetic shield, living on the Martian surface is like standing in the path of a never-ending radiation storm. But those wild temperature changes on Mars aren't just about freezing your socks off. The atmosphere there is so thin, heat escapes to space almost as soon as the sun sets. Therefore, any potential Martian life would need to survive rapid and extreme cooling. On Earth, some organisms manage this by entering a state of suspended animation, essentially hitting the pause button on life. And then, there's the radiation. Mars gets hit hard. Even on Earth, some extremophils, like Deinococcus radiodurans, can survive in places with intense radiation. So, it's not impossible that similar organisms could exist on Mars. Maybe with special ways to repair the damage radiation causes. Surviving on Mars isn't just about handling one or two tough conditions. It's the brutal mix of a thin atmosphere, extreme temperatures, and intense radiation that makes the planet so challenging. But what if I told you, despite all this, Perseverance has found solid evidence on Mars that doesn't just hint at life, but actually proves it might be there? The latest footage from Perseverance is showing off some geological features that look, well, almost alien. Think peculiar rock formations, strange erosion patterns, and layered structures that make you do a double take. But here's the big question. Are these just oddball rocks, or could they be signs of ancient life? So on August 14, 2023, the rover snapped some detailed images of a formation near Geddes Vallis Ridge, a place where water once flowed around 3 billion years ago. But these rocks, they're different. They've got shapes and textures that look eerily like biological structures. The way these rocks are arranged, the patterns they show, they might not just be random piles of minerals. What if they're fossilized remnants of life that once thrived on a planet we thought was dead? But if you're still on the fence about life on Mars, let me hit you with this. On May 30th, 2024, NASA's Curiosity rover made a jaw-dropping discovery while cruising over a rock in the Geddes Vallis Channel. It found bright yellow crystals of elemental sulfur, something that's never been seen on Mars before. Now, most of us hear sulfur and immediately think of that nasty rotten egg smell, thanks to hydrogen sulfide gas. But in its pure form, elemental sulfur doesn't smell at all. Finding it on Mars, especially in such large quantities, left scientists absolutely stunned. What makes this sulfur discovery even more intriguing is where it was found. Curiosity has been poking around a sulfate-rich area of Mars since October 2023. These sulfates are usually what's left behind when water evaporates, leaving behind minerals like gypsum and epsomite. The channel itself, a winding groove down the side of the 3-mile-tall Mount Sharp, was likely carved out by massive floods and landslides billions of years ago. That's like finding an oasis in the middle of a desert. As Curiosity's project scientist, Ashwin Vasavada, so perfectly put it. And let's not forget about the ancient lake beds. In the Jezero crater, where a lake is believed to have existed around 3.7 billion years ago. The sedimentary deposits are oddly similar to what you'd find in old lake beds on Earth. The Martian lakes are long gone, dried up, and leaving behind only their geological footprints. If there was life in these lakes, the sedimentary layers could have preserved it, giving us a rare glimpse into a time when Mars might have been more like Earth. All of this evidence is pointing to the fact that there was once life on Mars, maybe even life that was smarter than us. And if they didn't all pack up and move to some cosmic neighborhood, then where did they go? We've only scratched the surface with a few drops of water and some sulfur crystals. And already the questions are piling up faster than we can answer them. The mystery just keeps getting deeper. And who knows what we'll discover next. Now I bet the next time someone brings up the whole dinosaur extinction thing, you won't just be thinking about Earth. Mars might have gone through something even crazier. Life once thriving, and now, not a trace.